Welcome everyone to another edition here of too many changes, too many bugs, too many regressions, and time to rethink. Too much code change apparently is not that good, right? I'm still sitting here with my exotic risk systems, highest performance, and so on, and bisecting others, mega corporations, fiber channel drivers. And I wanted to point out, so I found one bug. So last night, of course, I probably made the one tiny good versus bad bisect thing. Today I actually found the first bad commit, which is some honest looking scheduling thing, but let me just, actually I should have that opened. And so the thing is, it's not only one regression, right? So not only I fixed this, I did exactly the same thing 3 years ago, right? So Marvell, I believe the company that now owns this previously QLA whatever, LSI whatever, did not 6 years ago cause regression. They caused just in recent times multiple, right? So one I pinpointed, but the problem is, like, after I bisected it 3 years ago, they just broke it and more and even more. Which is absolutely hilarious, right? And I think the biggest lesson to be learned is certainly that big mega corporations maintaining the drivers, basically corporate interests, not the best. I mean, on one thing you could say it is good that those companies here, okay, this is Lenovo, but there's also mostly others. Yeah, also, like, yeah, if you change it, then you cause null pointer difference, right? This is not even, so even other contributors fix these things, right? So that is also not, but other changes, I believe, were Marvel. I believe the one, where is here, Atomic, fixed scheduling, was it that one? Call to mid layer, I think this one, I need to check with my other, I believe this one. It's like, yeah, so many changes. Like which one? So I believe my initial bisecting from last night finished this morning determines this one, which is looking like fixing a real bug, but in some ways, so this fix scheduling while atomic, let's double check that. I have this saved here because I need to revert it. So schedule session for deletion. Schedule, no, this is even, wait, this is revert, right? So, FC port flags. Yeah, I guess it should be that one, but just I have it reverted. Okay, this one even boots, so that is 519. So then, and this is totally time-wasting, error-prone stuff, just because other people change, untested stuff, probably good. It's like, yeah, apparently some bug, sure, that looks like it fixes a real bug, but causes other regressions. I mean, I don't even know for how many devices it works, because obviously I have a huge stock of vintage and retro highest performance Unix systems, but even I, with my collection, I believe I have only one fiber channel system, at least as far as I remember right now, unless some HPPA might, but I think it's ultra wide SCSI. And that is absolutely crazy that my sample size one is the one that constantly breaks. So how many other, what is the chances that other systems out there in data centers, maybe still certainly at NASA or stuff like that, are constantly broken, right? If my one system breaks every year, and this is just one, certainly with all the Intel and AMD, if you think this is just a previous highest end Unix risk workstation thing, of course not. Just the Intel and AMD stuff is fixed more often, right? They if you just look into the kernel history, there's obviously a constant stream of changes, regressions, and Intel and AMD and others, AMD and other contributors like, yeah, but that's broken, dereference, null pointer, bounce checking, and so on and so forth, right? Let me just pick up. So basically, yeah, one phone call, yeah, can keep people not write an email as asynchronous communication. But yeah, what did we do here? That was working right now. Did we reboot? Maybe we Next phone call. Wonderful. Yeah, so that is why you don't phone call people, right? Because then they it's like even forget where the synchronous email and on for pointless stuff. Anyway, so GA is like, yeah, you already need to check this. So that's what we last arsync, right? So patch bsect arsync. I'm actually so yeah, that apparently booted. So then check out. So yeah, due to the first bug, right? There are so many bugs. It even makes. I mean, last night we got the out of sync bisecting our stuff, and then like yeah, you constantly need to revert this as far as I know. So that is good. Roughly 9 steps. And again, what I wanted to say so that you learn more, and there is some key takeaway. In my opinion, I say this for a long time, but this is just another prime example of how not to develop software, in particular an operating system. I would say for everything, not a toy, for everything somewhat decent professional software, each change should be treated like it's a Minesweeper game. Everything there, every change needs testing, more testing. What's not tested is broken, as we obviously see here. And the metric of some news sites, yay, there are a million changes. Like I often diffed here Firefox changes of whatever was it, 600,000 lines of code and 10,000 files or whatever. It's like the Firefox, Mozilla Foundation Firefox. Next to no breaking news, like yeah, just some tiny little changes, but hey, 10,000 files and 600,000 lines of code change and stuff for next to nothing to see, at least what they could marketing announce. And that is particular, a browser is one thing, also certainly a browser is these days a quite primary thing for your daily use. And an operating system or other system level components, C library compression, right? I basically also don't get, this is completely old. I mean, I probably should check how, where are we? So this is Linus Torvalds proper, and that is, oh yeah, that. For me, this is, we could check. I mean, once they added there even some new devices, which I wonder, do they still manufacture stuff that is supported by this decade-old driver? Because certainly this hardware is already 20 years old, right? And this is also corporate things of somehow they break their stuff more often than not, right? Previously, some voluntary hobby maintainers wrote this stuff and took great care, and now big mega corporations, they change their stuff left and right, and do more harm than good. And other people need to, and that's why there's many changes, right? Other people's like, hey, but it's broken. It's like I bisected and that stuff, right? For me, I mean, I'm really torn between giving up on this because this is kind of sort of getting too broken, or doubling down. It's shocking, right? We need to, I mean, certainly developing software in C, maybe not the best choice, right? Also, a lot of the things are not even, I mean, a lot of the stuff is scheduling, asynchronous scheduling, probably nothing that Rust would check particularly well. Not everything is buffer over underruns, or other logic bugs. I said it before, Rust will not prevent all logic bugs. And yeah, it's just mind-blowing. I mean, multiply this with what we do here otherwise, AMD pstate and other, or even AMD's software FTPM, that also is like latency, micro-stuttering, right? Like, yeah, and this is, sure, this is already somewhat automated. Sure, I could next automate it even more, but if at least it would not be the same thing, right? But it was broken 6 years ago, or in the meantime 8 or so. So async login failed is not down. Did I? This is QA modify. oh no, it says, right, one, I already got confused. One asynchronous login field always happened for a long time. It is of course possible that this is accumulation of bugs, that something shouldn't happen and then it happens for others. So it might be a stack of bugs, one thing breaking another. Also, I wonder why this takes so long now. This maybe that's already broken. That's the next thing, right? We determined one bug, and it's like, yeah, how to bisect that even if there are no bugs that prevent this from working. That is, there are more than 2 bugs. Maybe there are even 4. Like the first asynchronous port deletion thing. Then whatever other, that is of course like the worst case, right? Asynchronous web was done, refactor command, whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, that's clearly not working. And just like last night, it's like, yeah, you bisect one thing and you find other breakage in between. Maybe, so probably last night I said concentrate on one bug, but that is also not always helpful, right? Because, I mean, if it's not working, it's not working. It certainly isn't helping. It's like we could reboot, but I don't have... That's the thing, right? We were bisecting here another issue, and now we find other intermittent issues in between. And I'm just shocked. I'm honestly, I don't know what they are doing, so this is really Marvel here. And I don't get how so many changes are needed after 20 years. Sure, there could always be some new device and stuff and new bugs found, but I mean, yeah, new bugs found, but so many new bugs, right? It is absolutely, and this is enterprise hardware, right? If this would be some Nintendo 64 support, no, this is the most expensive fiber channel enterprise hardware that even I have only one. And imagine if NASA, ESA, Airbus, Boeing is still using that in production. It's like here, so I had this, I think I had something similar like some bisect ago, and I think I marked it bad because last night I went there south with stuff not matching anymore. So I guess today it's like if it's not fully working, it's already broken. So basically, if there are multiple breakages, at least find the first and then go from that. I wouldn't be surprised, but also where to stop, right? So much time spent for what, right? For others, for NASA's, ESA's, Oracle's, broken Linux, fixing their fiber channel. But yeah, I hope you learned something from don't change too much, because what's not tested is broken. The only constant is change and regressions. Absolutely mind-blowing. I just let this run a second time. Don't have the highest hopes. It's like, yeah. I mean, I could also just say, okay, fine. It just like in Debian, it doesn't work. Obviously in Debian, because same bugs, same Linux kernel. Say, okay, I have other sparks, but I mean, theoretically, this was my fastest spark, or it is also my fastest non-Sun 4V, Sun 4 virtualization platform. Did this, by the way, ask for the... I think it didn't ask. So probably the transactions are stuck there. So apparently there is some kind of, I mean, it's like, yeah, thank you very much. So, and it's like, I wonder how many things. So check out. So that's, I mean, obviously not working. So bad. And it's like 8 more steps, and it's like, one thing probably to speed this up could be to go to just the changes. By the way, it would help if Git would, or Git web would show the text here. I mean, you can guess some, but then like if you, I mean, you can of course git log drivers. Maybe it would speed this up if you git bisect before massive changes and after, and then you only step through those which you will. Maybe that saves you 3 or 4 steps potentially. So QLA to XXX. Yeah, maybe I need better UI tools, because maybe as much text CLI I love. Maybe some proper visualization with some tag marks in between would actually help. So what did I do? What did I do? Check out that bed, so then we should not forget to revert this, which we already find broken, and then bisect next. So yeah, that's not making any progress. It's like I can't make this up, right? This really is a Guinness World Record award worthy. They didn't break it once, they didn't break it twice. Apparently in just 1 year or a little bit over a year, whatever. Multiple regressions. I rest my case. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Leave me in the comments below what you think. We need to boot save fallback because too broke. Getting anywhere. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely. And I'm really disappointed that. I mean, sure, maybe I'm the last Spark user. David, I mean, maybe even the Spark maintainer is not using it anymore because no high-performance modern machines. Wouldn't surprise me. And if he's using it maybe on a Sun T4 or so, like I, and some more out of order speculating high-end silicon and not some dual socket Ultra Spark Sunblade. 1 or 2K, I guess. But yeah, so we booted safe. So Bobby wants changes there. 2-pick, I want changes. Yeah, I want changes for making the world a better place, but not like constantly. I mean, obviously this should be booting, right? So okay, we're getting somewhere. We just need to wait. So this is booting the last stable. I also believe some kernels in between this is really slow, so maybe there is some performance regression because, I mean, that's relatively snappy, and in some bisecting builds in between it's not that snappy, so maybe I don't. It's like, yeah, I probably need to teach my child and like, yeah, motivate you, right? Go out there, bisect some bugs because apparently quite some stuff is broken. So debug, so like, yeah, I run this with set E. And then bisect this. Do we have Ethernet? Yeah, I also wonder why this Ethernet sometimes takes a while. Why does DHCP? I mean, yeah, like maybe. Yeah, sometimes that's certainly not helping, right? It's quite stable, but maybe not the most mission critical stable apparently. I mean, this is rare. I have this sometimes. I mean, also plus this, right? So also next bisecting or debugging what this is all about. Apparently something that UDEF is event resynthesizing here in UDEF ADM trigger. It's like, yeah, nice null point ID reference. I see there for quite some years. It's Shellac subscribe, GoFundMe, Patreon, and it's like, yeah, I guess we power off and reboot because as we hear such Sunblade, Sun for You, apparently not the most uber stable in Linux. But and last but not least, OpenBSD yesterday, right? I already went so far as how stable is the hardware. Let's boot OpenBSD and it's like not one, like 4 like CD rewritable overload here. Yeah, OpenBSD and NetBSD just booted, right, in 2023 with the latest release because, surprise, they're not constantly changing. They're not like, hey, for fun, let's change it and stuff. It's, yeah, it's sad and disappointing. Hope you enjoyed this and learned something anyway. And maybe writing everything in C is also contributing to that, right? Difficult language, easy to break stuff, and code review always is, hey, it looks good. Just need to press here some key because I don't want to boot the wrong. Yeah, maybe more automation, probably, I mean, more auto, it's like already mistyping stuff. Certainly more automation would make it more fun, but anyway, Hope you just learned something. So it's like, yes, long story short, right, we're getting somewhere, but it's like, yeah, getting to the first regression. So now we can, how much? I mean, they broke it just further, right? So like we just found, what was it, 518, and for 519 they broke it again more. It's like they double broke it and triple broke it. It's like, okay, but this, so we're getting somewhere, right? So this is, where's even my version? Oh wait, this is a save. Oh right, we're not getting somewhere, it's just the first save version. Ah, yeah, YouTube live streaming and phone calls, easy too. Yeah, I'm not even, and also last but not least, my dream here of a microkernel with stable ABIs. You could just use an old driver, right? This is also silly. I never liked it for 15 years already. This mantra of everything needs to be in one place sounds nice, and then they constantly, the things there, then we can clean up and improve and change APIs, right? The problem is you can't even just revert back to an older version because of all the changes, right? So much API and details changed. And even in SCSI and block devices that you can't even compile it. And so much like, sure, the Linux kernel people around Linus Torvalds promote it as ever-changing cleanups, but the reality is you can't mix and match, right? On Windows you would take, hey, have you tried this driver version? Or like on this systems, it's like, in general it's better, but on this systems use driver version 4.17 or whatever. It's like, yeah, you can't do this with Linux or most Unix systems, right? Because with every major release and in between, we constantly change the APIs and break things, right? So anyway, I hope any of this is helpful. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe. I will still be busy bisecting more because never can't bisect enough to find all the many bugs. Also, I was also like, I also need to install a new system. I hope this. I didn't have this on the Ultra 5, so like, yeah, testing our own stuff. I'm not even getting to testing our own or fixing our own stuff because other kernel stuff is too broken. Have a good day. See you next time. And we could, just for takes one moment, could see, does this one, so we are booting this change. Let's see what happens in the Probably I should dedicate an hour today to set up network booting for Sun. I think it was at times a little annoying to set up, so. I also wonder why this sometimes happens, error initializing netlink socket. It's probably, yeah, this will already, I know that already this will not work. Whatever this random glitch is, but it might be a Spark thing. I mean, usually doesn't happen, except when it does. Oh, cool. Maybe that is, yeah, whatever that is about. So, let's wait for this get bisect thing, except it randomly errors again, which might be some other Linux kernel, the Spark chipset memory corruption or whatever. Yeah, what a time to be alive. You would hope these companies have the best interest to keep their driver maintained, but somehow this stuff constantly breaks, right? So, but in general, last but not least, to summarize that, this is simply this culture of changes is not the best. It's basically constant, and also that is something that basically the Linux kernel for all people. This was not a Unix thing, right? The big Unix vendors were never about constantly changing things, right? Or other software development. Show me the software book where it's written constantly refactor. The constant change is amazing. You will find none. And yet the Linux kernel people, and maybe spreading that to some surrounding projects, Linus Torvalds mantra of, yeah, second boot, yes, that's probably some random spark fluke thing or whatever. Certainly not the best base level stability to bisect it, but that's what we have to deal with. So that's somehow some Linus Torvalds self-created, like he and his friends and family there in the new kernel things. So yeah, it takes a while. This I probably should. Yeah, we basically need to. I mean, you can't even trust this. Or no, actually, I believe this. How was it? I think. Okay, so this one works. Yeah. So if it's like here, it is. Check out that again. Mark it good. 7 more steps. Thank you very much. Revert this. Bisect again. Have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe.